Roles and responsibilities. Number 6, the PM manages issues and decisions, not the sponsor, management, or HR. Remember this one. I put it right here in blue, the Ghana blue. Okay, so you're going to get a question on this, maybe 2 or 3. You're going to at least get one, possibly multiple on this, right? And it's going to present you with a problem, and then many different answers. All the answers are going to usually involve the project manager getting somebody else to do it, or getting a senior manager or a sponsor going to them for decisions. The project manager, as far as the PMP is concerned, should be able to handle managing the project. Okay? So there's only one time where you might want to go to a sponsor. That is when there's a budget problem, or for the last resort. Okay? Normally, if the baselines are changed, like a cost baseline, a schedule baseline, or some baseline is changed, then you can think about going to the sponsor. But other than that, if there's a disruptive employee, you don't go to the sponsor. There's going to be many different things that they'll come up with, and you need to handle it as a leader on your own. Okay? Everyone directly or indirectly involved is a stakeholder. This is something that you have to understand. Okay? It's not just the end users. It's anybody. The team members, the management, vendors that are supplying, they're all stakeholders. The government might be involved. Okay, rules and regulations, they will be stakeholders also. Anybody that can affect or influence this project is a stakeholder. Okay. Number 7, project closure and planning. Whether a project is completed or terminated, always perform the closing phase. Okay? You're going to get scenarios where they might say something happened to the project, it lost budget, or it lost funding, and it's stopping. What do you do next? They'll give you several different examples. You need to make sure you follow through and finish the project. Now, you don't have to complete the execution of the project, but you need to finish the closing phase. Okay? Lessons learned, handover, and all the other stuff that's involved. You need to close out the project. Okay? Don't go find another project to work on. That's going to be possibly an answer option. It's you need to finish closing out the project. Okay? For predictive projects, treat the plan as your roadmap. Refer to it frequently. Okay, 8, key terms to recognize. I'm just giving you some key terms right here. Change control board for predictive, change control process. These are predictive key terms. Agile, sprint, iteration, scrum, daily stand-up, backlog, product owner, manager. These are all things related to agile approaches. Okay. 9, and again on 8, this is just so if they don't tell you if it's predictive or agile, so that you can know what kind of approach it is. Normally they're going to tell you most of the time. Okay, so 9, lessons learned in SMEs. If you're unsure, you can seek input from a subject matter expert, an SME, or consult lessons learned register. Okay, don't go to the sponsor. You're allowed to get help from an expert. Okay, but make sure you do that when it's correct, okay? And make sure you follow all these first. Make sure you adhere to this principle one, okay? Um, they might say, so and so made a complaint. What do? You don't go to the subject matter expert first. You need to go to the person who made the complaint and understand the problem, okay? So you need to make sure that you do these kind of in order, okay? Agile adoption and practices, okay? Transition from predictive to agile gradually, okay? Pilot projects, inception desks, you need to gradually change to it, okay? Here's a big one, the second bullet point. Agile teams are self-organizing, but the PM can intervene to resolve conflicts and performance issues. This is referring back to one of our previous principles, okay, where we said the project management removes obstacles and trains, that makes sure the team's trained and has what they need to do their job, okay? It's agile teams are self-organizing. The team organizes itself. It creates its own set of rules that it's going to follow, and it chooses how it's going to work. So a PM, it needs to let the agile team perform and self-organize, okay? But the PM can intervene to resolve conflicts and performance issues, okay? Agile success depends on continuous customer feedback. There's going to be many questions on the exam about a customer or end user complaining at the end of the project or pretty far into a project that they don't like the way something is happening, okay? This goes back to this. You're going to make sure that there's continuous customer feedback. How could you have done something different during the project? You could have included the customer in certain meetings. You could give demos to the customer throughout the project where they get to see and test the function of the deliverables as you're moving through the project. These are things that are very important, okay? You will see something regarding this right here on the project. 11, client requests and opportunities. Never reject a client's request or opportunity outright. Explore it first. So you're going to get a question or two where the client is going to, you're already started a project. There's already a budget. You've already got your resources working, and then the client or customer for some reason will want to make a change. They'll want to add something or do something in addition or different. Okay, there's going to be answers that reject them being able to do it, or things like this, right? You never want to reject the customer, okay? Because there's a scope change process, there's a change request process, there's a backlog. There are methods for changing the scope of the project through change requests, okay? So never reject the customer's needs or requests. Number 12, past projects, okay? When a similar completed project is mentioned, choose the answer that uses its insights to help complete the project. Okay, so if there might be a question that says, in a similar project is being performed that was done a year ago or that was done previously. What do you do, or something like this, right? You can consult the lessons learned or organizational process assets. If something has been done before, then it's best to go back and see the details on how that previous project performed, the lessons they learned, the risks that they had, the issues that they had, and all these different things when you're planning your project. Okay. Number 13, schedule impacts. Okay. When an event affects the schedule, focus on solutions involving the critical path. Okay, so the critical path is what's important. You need to something deviating the critical path is going to affect the schedule of the project. So you need to focus on on solving issues that affect the critical path. Okay, I would say go over these. Maybe read this a few times. Definitely try to memorize some of the top ones. When you're doing practice exams and practice questions, print this up when you're going over the questions at the end, and just kind of look at the question and the answer and say, which one of these principles, if I would have known, would I have gotten the correct answer? When you go and you sit down to take the exam, it's going to be stressful. It's going to be many people in the room, at least 15 probably. They're going to pat you down, check your pockets. It's going to feel like you're getting arrested, right? And you're going to have to give fingerprints. And so you're going to be under a lot of stress, and you're going to be timed. And so it's going to be more difficult on the exam than when you're taking the practice test, right? So you might not be thinking clearly. Your brain might drift when you're reading questions. So this right here is going to help you tap into the knowledge that you learn in our course, and you know that knowledge. Once you learn that knowledge, you're going to know it, okay? And by implementing these principles, it's going to allow you to use the information you know to answer the question, and you're going to be able to stay on track, okay? If worst case scenario, you freak out and you lock up, if you know these principles, you will do better than you would if you didn't. I'm gonna just leave it at that. Okay, so I do highly encourage you to check out our courses online. I have a PDF of this on the course, and we go through all the information you need to be able to do well on the exam.